Stampin' friends. Tonight we're going to use the Hello Harvest bundle. It is a fall themed, of course, little set. You can use the pumpkin as it is. You can put the little sunflower kind of bouquet on the top of it and just kind of make that into a fall kind of a thing, or you can just use all the pieces separately, kind of up to you. So I wanted to show you one that I had made recently for my team members for a swap. And so I just colored this pumpkin. It was a stamped pumpkin, colored it with my blends, and kind of used some of the Cajun Craze color at the bottom with, kind of covered the whole thing in a pumpkin pie, and then used kind of a light yellow in the center to kind of brighten up that as if that's where the sun is hitting it. And then the crushed curry for the sentiment is kind of cute because then that way it kind of brings out that yellow that I used on that. Okay, so what I did to get started with this was I did a couple of different things. I used some die cuts to start out, and then I did some stamping, punching, and die cutting after I stamped. And so I have this piece and this piece. So you can see there how easy it would be to make that look like you've made like a little pumpkin bouquet, like you've hollowed out the pumpkin and put the water in there. So that is one way to use it. Also, these little, they're let's see if I can make you see the texture. The texture is there. So you can layer that on top. You can add the stem, which it also has to punch out, and then add some little swirlies to it like that and make it into a little pumpkin gourd kind of a thing. Now, one thing about this, I would consider using your dies to cut this again, sliding them into the die and cutting it to make maybe a shorter pumpkin over here. And then maybe kind of a medium pumpkin and make it into a grouping. So I'll be doing that for our for a card that I'll put on my blog and stuff. But you can see here that there's so many choices as far as colors, of course. A dark pumpkin, a light yellow, a dark yellow, a bright yellow, orange, whatever. But these, you can also change the way something looks just by changing the color of the green as well. So that is that kind of a look. Now, I imagined layering, this is on page 50 of the holiday or July through December catalog. So you can see the mini catalog, so right there, 48, 49, and 50. So there you can see some of the paper, and there you can see some of the stamp bundle, and then, let's see, there we are. And then here where they've done some embossing with the copper embossing powder, that's another pretty way to use it. So lots of choices in this for how to use this, and I think that that will be a lot of fun for everyone. Okay, so on this card, I thought I would first kind of show you this embossing folder. I think it is really pretty. It's on page 53, and it is called Leaf Fall, which Leaf Fall is a little bit of a weird name, but you can see that it has some really, maybe the backside makes it easier to see. I don't know why I've got a shadow, I apologize. You can see the different kinds of leaves, like some that look like elm, some that look like maple. So just kind of all in one thing there. So putting that kind of at the bottom of your card and leaving this top part, gosh, I don't think you can see that, I'm so sorry. Leaving the top part, it's not the full, it doesn't cover the full front. So you're gonna have a spot that doesn't have anything on it. So that's kind of my point. Okay, so you could use, maybe this is Mossy Meadow. You might use that here. And then pop your pumpkin on this. Or maybe you'd like more contrast. Maybe you put this little guy on there. I think that kind of blends nicely. Kind of get a lot of pumpkin colored things. And then, let's see, I wouldn't use that one. I'd probably use this lighter color here. And then that way, since that way we have contrast using the, there we go, using the old olive against the Mossy Meadow kind of makes it pop. And then when you're finished, you can use some, I would anyway, probably use, instead of this, a stamping it on orange, but I just kind of grabbed this little bit of wishing you the loveliest day to kind of put at the bottom. Then you just need to add some little bling and things. Now, for some reason, I have managed to lose some really pretty embellishments that I was going to kind of show you on this one. It is called, let's see, number 2, Leaf Label and Amber Gem Combo Pack. So these little leaves and these little gems, that's what I wanted to use with this, but there are a ton of things that go with it. Because this does need a little more going on it, I think. So that's what I would do with that. All right, so the next thing I kind of wanted to show you was this in just a couple more colors. So there you can see it in a Old Olive and in the Mossy Meadow. Maybe just pop it on here, the Mossy Meadow. Then maybe use our frame in this Pretty Cajun Craze. And then you could also make the sentiment the main point of what you're doing, and then just add some leaves. So like kind of here, maybe put that one, maybe a yellow one. And so in that way, you have a really cute little bundle of leaves. Now, to that I would probably add either our regular linen thread or this, the Baker's Twine Essentials Pack, because it has a lot of different colors of choices on here. Probably wouldn't use the white, but several of these other colors would look great there. Even black would probably really get your attention with that. So this time I'm just gonna do some linen thread here really quick. Well, if I can find the end of it. Hold up, I think I've got some here. What are you? There we go. I'll use this. I'm just gonna make a bow. Now, one thing that would be cute too is if you just did kind of a large bow. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 3 on this one. Then get them where I feel like it's fairly even. That one needs a little bit more. If I can hold them straight. Then I'm just gonna cut this. And then I'm gonna wrap it in the middle. Maybe I should hold it down. Tie the ribbon around, to make a string to tie around the ribbon. Look, it is feisty. There we go. Okay, so there you can see I've made a rather fluffy little bow. Then I'm just going to cut the ends. And then what I would do is just put it possibly up at the top here as if it's holding the leaves, like that maybe, or just put it down at the bottom. But there's a lot of choices there on exactly where you're going to put just a little bow. And I really enjoy making these bows with the 3 loops because I think that they look really generous, but it actually doesn't take too terribly much more ribbon or twine or string or whatever. So that is that. Then the next thing I wanted to kind of show you was just using some of these leaves, kind of the same sort of thing, putting your You're Such a Blessing here. I just cut these out. This is the, and you might even go like this. I mean, think of all the possibilities with which direction you can go with. You know, you don't have to just do it the way that you imagine it's supposed to be. You can do things kind of crazy. So like you could put these guys under here. These are just the same cutout, but instead they're stamped. Like that. Have some color there. I wish I had a yellow one. I don't see a yellow one. Anyway, and maybe add some of these little swirly guys to the top of the leaves even, just to kind of add another little bit of interest. And then some color, just some kind of little blingy type guys on here could really finish that off, I think. So let's look here and see what I have. That would be cool. Let's see. I'm trying to find those ones from last year that look like kind of golden. Also, these would be cute. These are the adhesive back seasonal sequins. So I was thinking this gold could be really pretty as well. It's like I caught some other color there. But there you can see, whoops, there we are. There you can see the gold sequins. They don't have a center cut out of them, which is kind of nice. So it just leaves the whole thing shiny. I think that really helps. Oops, that was not all of the bling though. Just a second. I did not get the whole glue dot stuck there. There we are. And then maybe just one more small one kind of on the leaves. There you can see, just to kind of add a little bit of interest to it. So that's that one. And then now I'm just going to do a little bit of coloring on these guys, just to kind of give you an idea of how this could look. All right, I'm using on this one dark so saffron, and all I'm doing is coloring in the petals on my sunflowers. Now, this might have looked better if I had used the crushed curry to stamp with, or if I had used maybe the crumb cake as a possibility. It might have made it look a little less dark behind. So I'm just going to go ahead and color all of the leaves here. It'll make it easier to decide what other colors to use. And if there's any color that you don't have the blend for, you know, you can always get out your aqua painter or whatever we call them now. I guess we call them water painters. Or you can use a wink of Stella and use your ink to color these centers. So just whatever seems the easiest or the most fun to use. So I'm just going to go ahead and get just a little bit to put in the centers here. There we go. That may not be as dark as I would like it. Okay, just a second. I'm going to try again with a darker brown. Then I'll probably get it too dark, and then I'll be unhappy about that. Some color without just completely blacking it out. That's kind of what I was going for here. Not allowing it to kind of have some color showing through. Okay. And then with the greens, I think you can probably use just whichever ones of these are light. It's probably going to be best. But you want to get some variety in there. There we are. I'm going to reach for another green. I'm going to grab this is the parakeet. And if this is too garish, I can always go back in and put another color over it. And it is a little bright. What I do when I have one that's just about to go, I'll go ahead and put a piece of masking tape or washi tape, whatever, around it so I know, yeah, this one's probably not going to work out very well for me for much longer. There you can see that. Just a little more color. And then as you're trying to decide on colors, kind of imagine what you think would look good. Like I kind of like to put some blue sometimes with orange. If you're from Oklahoma, then you know that the Thunder has blue and orange as their colors. And I think it just kind of adds a lot of contrast. So I like to do both the dark and the light blues with orange and yellow. So there I'm just doing those colors. But you can pretty much use all colors with this, and that way you'll be able to have it really looking peppy for, especially I guess fall, we try to use dark colors, but don't forget about your pinks and your blues, because it can just add a lot of interest, I guess you'd just say, as you're doing this. So I'm going to go ahead here. This is the dark pale papaya. It's going to kind of go down the middle here. Now I can be crazy as I color this because I'm using the tip that's like a Sharpie. It's kind of a hard to damage tip. I'm just going down that middle. Then I'm going to use the light pumpkin pie, putting that in the second area here. I've recently gotten a new pumpkin pie and I think it's nice and juicy. Always good. And I'm just going to go down this center line here between them and then up here where the where it has added some shadow at the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to use my dark pumpkin pie for the last one. Oh, this is the old one. I wonder if it has any ink left. Let's see. Oh, not bad. I've used the other end. I did a lot of coloring of the white taffeta, and apparently I'm not very careful with that. So I did have a little bit of issue with that. Then I'm just going on into the one closest to it to add a little bit of color there. All right, now normally I would also go ahead and color this stem right here. So I'll just go ahead and do that with the light mossy meadow, which, you know, that's just because I'm showing you how this is going. And then this is the light pale papaya. So I would just go back over the center with the light pale papaya just to give it a little more color. There we are. So there you can see I colored that really simply to make it look like it was in the sun or whatever, like it had a lot of shine to it. But I think that when you add it with the colored, let's see, let me get it up here where you can see it. When you add it with the slightly colored image, I think it makes it kind of pop a little more and look a little brighter and cheerier. So I will go ahead and finish this with some more different colors of blue and some more different colors of green. And I might even add some pink or orange flowers on here as I'm going, because you can see I haven't quite finished. But to finish this up, I would probably put it on a pumpkin pie base. And then I would consider, you know, maybe you don't want to use the fall leaves on this one, because maybe that would kind of dampen down the way that it looks. But maybe you would like to put it in a different color than you're used to. I would kind of like to try putting it with the crumb cake and then maybe sponging the color on. So that's something I should have done for you all, because that would be really cool, to emboss it with crumb cake and then color the leaves. So that might be what I do for the end of this one. You can always just tuck leaves in wherever as you're doing this as well. So that's why I like the way that this has so many little squigglies and things like that that you can just add as you're working on it. If you think, oh, that needs a little something here, there, everywhere, whatever. And then adding any kind of background piece, I think will also make it look super cute. So anyway, this was the Happy Harvest set. Bundle, and so I think that you can see that this has a lot of different ways to use it. It's a pretty decent sentiments. It has, "You are such a blessing, wishing you the loveliest day. You are missed," and "hello." So I do wish it had a Happy Thanksgiving. Only one of our sets has a Happy Thanksgiving. I like them to all have that at this point, but I encourage you to maybe send someone a card that is missed somewhere. Sending them something like that in the fall is kind of nice and sweet. So that one I might not normally think to use, but I think it would be a good one to use for someone. So I appreciate you all watching, and I hope that you have a great weekend in this nice, cool weather. Bye-bye.